everybody, today I am back doing another video. This video is going to be a book review on Elizabeth Smart's book, My Story. So this is what the book looks like right here. This book came out not a year ago, but more than a few months ago, maybe like 5-6 months ago, I'm not really sure. But I finally read it and finished it, and I wanted to give a book review on this book for you guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in and get started with this book review. So if you want to see the review on Elizabeth Smart's My Story book, then just keep on watching. Alright, to start off with this review, kind of to go over Elizabeth's story. She was abducted from her home. She lived in Ohio. This was back, I want to say, the earlier 2000s. I don't really remember the exact date, and I don't really remember it happening. I don't remember seeing it on the news, so I'm guessing it's because I was a little younger. So I'm guessing earlier 2000s, somewhere around there. Anyways, and she was abducted by this guy that her parents were actually kind of helping out a little bit. I think they found him on the street, and they started out with giving him money and kind of other things to help him out, and then they gave him sort of a job at their own home. So he knew where she lived, everything like that. He kind of knew how things ran. I don't think it's ran. But he knew how things ran at their house. So he kind of planned it out from there. And that's kind of the sick thing about this, because I guess from the very beginning, even when he was out on the street and her parents found him, he already had planned, that's the girl I'm gonna take, pretty much, which is just sick. But anyways, to move on from the story. So yeah, it was one night, and he knew where her bedroom was. Like I said, he was around the house. He knew where all the rooms were, stuff like that. So he planned to take her from her bedroom window, which I think he knew. I don't know if he knew or not, but anyways, that her window was unlocked. So he went up from that way and took her, and him and his wife, they lived up in the mountain when he took her to there, and that's where she pretty much lived for 9 months. Now, this guy that took her, I think, Mitchell? Let me look up his name real quick. Alright, I just looked it up. She was taken in 2002, in June of 2002. She was 14 years old, and the person that took her, his name is Brian David Mitchell, and his wife's name is Wanda Barzee, something like that. Okay, so Brian and Wanda are the people that kind of took Elizabeth and stuff like that. So anyways, this Brian guy, he was totally convinced that God he was the chosen one from God, and he was supposed to have 7 wives and stuff like that, and they were all supposed to be young girls, and supposedly God was telling him to take this girl and that girl, and pretty much every single choice that Brian made, good and bad. He didn't really make a lot of good choices, but any choice, it was because God told him to. So he was a little messed up in the head. Yeah, so that's how he went to taking Elizabeth, because that was supposed to be his next wife and stuff like that. So yeah, in this book, Elizabeth is just talking about her 9-month journey with these people, all the things she... Oh, I'm sorry. I just kicked my tripod. She talked about all the things she went through and stuff like that, and it just goes along that in this whole book. And then at the end, it talks about, how she was rescued and some of the things that happened after she was rescued, stuff like that. Now, when I heard about this story and while I was reading the book, it kind of made me think of J.C. Dugard's story. I did read her book. I cannot for the life of me think of what her book was called. I don't know if I did a book review on it, because I think I read it a couple of years ago or something like that, but I don't think I ever did a book review on it. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of this book, because J.C. in her book kind of talked about the exact same thing, her story and how she was kidnapped and stuff like that. The only thing I want to say about this book, kind of the difference between Elizabeth's book and J.C.'s book, Elizabeth doesn't go into huge detail, kind of like how J.C. did. Elizabeth keeps it very PG. There's one part in the book where Brian and Wanda wanted to do something with her, like I'm guessing sexually, but Elizabeth wouldn't say what it was, so I don't really know what it was about. I think it was something to do with something sexual, but in JC's book, she pretty much said everything that happened, everything that her abductor did to her, wanted her to do, stuff like that. In JC's book, when I was reading it, like, there was like a period of a couple weeks where I just couldn't read it. I was reading it one time and I just got to one part. This was sort of in the beginning of the book too, and I just read one part and I just started bawling and I just couldn't even read it. I was like, I'm done with this book, because it was just so terrible, like the things she went through and the things she was like talking about and describing, and I just couldn't read JC's book for the longest time, but I eventually finished it. But yeah, my point of this is Elizabeth doesn't go into as much detail as JC's book, which is fine. I mean, we don't really want to hear too much, I guess, what happened, because like JC's book, that just really broke my heart and I thought it was kind of disturbing. So what she was talking about, she kept it very PG, like I said. And yeah, so overall, this was a very great book. It's a good story. I just couldn't put it down at some parts. It's just talking about her overall journey of when she was kidnapped, stuff like that. So I definitely do recommend this book, especially since there's not too much graphic information in here. So I don't want to say it's better for younger audiences. Maybe younger audiences shouldn't be reading this, but yeah, like, it's not too graphic. So if you're into books that don't show too many like graphic things, like autobiography, stuff like that, I would definitely read this because it isn't too graphic at all. Well, it was a great book. There isn't really any negative aspects that I would point out in this book. Yeah, so I give it 5 stars. It was really a great book, and I definitely recommend it to all of you guys. Okay, everyone, so that is my short book review on Elizabeth Smart's book, My Story. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And before I go, I want to give a shout out to a few of my new subscribers today. Aldous B, sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right, Arena G, Lamika M, Brandon S, W Wetna Forever 1000, sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right, and Amanda H. I want to say hi to you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to me and watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all are watching this video now and enjoying it. Alright everyone, so that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comments down below, or you can message me as well. And also tell me some of the books you guys have been reading, just so you know, I can find some new books to read, maybe do some other book reviews if you guys want to see. But in warning, if you want me to do a book review on something, it'll probably take me forever, because I always have like a huge pile of books that I want to read, and I am the slowest reader. I finally am getting through my huge pile. I'm on my last book that I have. It's called The Mailbox, and I'm reading it on my Kindle, and it says I'm like 92 or 93% done with it. So I'm going to try my best to finish that probably today, and then I will do a book review on that as well. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, in the comments or whatever, tell me what books you have been reading. Whoa, yeah, what books are you reading? Tell me what books you are reading. I'd really like to know. Alright everyone, so I'm gonna get going. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.